welcome to
Live, Laugh, LOL.
We've Got Cancer.
So we did last time, and I was thinking how crazy that we're woohooing. We've got cancer.
Oh yeah, we need to stop woohooing.
I mean, we've got cancer. Boo.
Sad. Crap.
So sad. Today we're going to talk about questions.
Yes, I'm so impressed. We shouldn't have ever underestimated all of our loyal fans.
Because
we do actually have so many questions. I think we might have to do it into 2 pod episodes.
We've just got such huge audience numbers.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to divvy these questions up. There's so many.
But some really interesting ones, though. I'm very impressed. Thanks, guys.
Well done, guys. Just saves us from having to think about another one.
Yeah,
and saves us from having to plan. So excellent.
Thank you.
So, how's your week been, Jess?
My week's actually been a real good one. Well, this weekend we had the first barbecue. Everyone got overexcited because it looks like it should be sunny, but actually it was still pretty freezing cold.
It's a cold wind up in Leeds.
A classic British barbecue where you're actually just sitting like an old lady under a blanket. But it was nice. And I saw a couple of friends that I haven't seen in years. One I used to work in Beijing with, and one I used to go to uni with. And this is probably a response to the questions, but just make the effort to come over and see me. We just went for a little brunch. And yeah, one I took to a house viewing as well, which is really fun.
How was the house viewing?
Flat viewing. Well, I wanted to get a new flat because I want some outdoor space. So I've been messaging the guy about like which way does the balcony face, because
that's the key.
That's the only thing that I'm viewing this flat for. Turned up and the balcony was like, I couldn't even have stood out on it. It was like the width of a piece of wood.
Okay, yeah. Like a Juliet balcony.
Yeah, but yeah. So I was like, why have we wasted our time here? Like, you could have just told me. He was like, yeah, it's west facing, so you get the sun in the evening. I was thinking, excellent. What am I going to do? Stand outside just looking around
like
Leeds?
Rapunzel with less hair, with dramatically less hair.
Nobody's climbing up these locks.
You'd have to be on the ground floor and bending right down, like, come on. Yeah, there's no.
So I can't even be Rapunzel, but maybe it's meant to be. I'll get a flat on the first floor when my hair's grown back.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait. That's a shame because Jess just wants more outside space.
I do, because I literally have none. And I open my doors in my current flat and then there's just a load of children running around.
Oh, God. Screaming. I've been there when they're there. It's so lovely that the parents take them out and get them to enjoy the sun, but everybody else...
For everyone else's enjoyment, just lock them inside.
Just lock them inside, lock them away. I shouldn't say that because I'm a teacher and kids are great, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and also, what would a round of chemo be for you without a house move?
I know, that's true. New chemo, new flat. That's what I need to go for.
Oh, yeah. Time. It just really keeps you going.
Yeah.
All that added stress and excitement obviously does the trick.
Yeah, but not yet. So I haven't found the dream flat. And yeah, my poor friend, I was like, yeah, sorry, do you want to go get a coffee after this really boring house viewing? I
don't think there's such a thing as a boring house viewing.
Yeah, that's true. You get to nosy around, don't you?
Yeah, you do, and I love it so much. So that's quite nice.
I had a really lovely weekend, and yeah, it's really nice that my pals made the effort.
We've got to save that because you're about to talk about them again for a question.
Yeah, I will. So we're talking about your week, and your weekend was a big one.
Went down to London this weekend, and we walked the moonwalk. We walked the moonwalk, full stop.
Walk backwards around London,
which is walk a marathon around London, which was great at night time. And I had a big group of friends that did it with me, and it was just so much fun. Obviously, I'm now looking back, it was like type 2 fun at the time. It was like, how are we still walking?
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm like, God, what an excellent challenge.
Was it all the way through, like, the city centre?
Yeah, it was. We started in Clapham, then through to Battersea Park, then along the river to quite far, and then we saw all of the sites, which was nice.
Really good.
Walked back along the other side of the river, so I think all along Embankment area. And then, and past the London Eye and all of that. And then we walked around Regent's Park and all of that area.
Wow.
And then you end up back at Clapham. I don't know London super well, but that was vaguely the route.
Yeah.
And it was a marathon. And we set off at 11 and we finished at 8:40, I think.
Wow.
So it was 9.5 hours or something.
Wow. And
Just
were the
under 10.
people around the route, like when you do a marathon, there's people cheering you on and stuff?
There was absolutely nobody cheering us on except the volunteers. Thank you to the volunteers that were just clapping like, "You can do it." Knackered. Like some of them, you could tell when like the morning ones had come on. I don't know how they do it, but there was some. It's like we were getting towards the end that looked so fresh. Because I guess you don't need anyone at the end at the start because literally no one's going to get there.
You're not going to wait for 9 hours for everyone to walk through London.
So there were definitely some people that looked more fresh and they were great and it did make a difference. And there were a few people, there was a lot of like people in cars tooting the horn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very excited about all these people. I think there were like over 4,500 people that did the walk.
Wow.
Excellent. And my group, Boobs and Foobs, at the minute, we're over 11 grand.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we are the sixth. It changes because the donation page is still open, but we are currently the 6th highest team for how many donations we've raised out of something like 1,150 teams.
Look at you with all the best donators in the country.
I know, I love it so much. It really, if you donated, I love it so much. I'm like obsessed with how much money we're making and I want us to be in like the top 5 and we're doing so well and it really makes a difference. It really, really made a difference when you're doing the walk and then we were on about 10 grand during the walk and when you're walking and you're like, but you know what, we've raised 10 grand for this.
Yeah.
That at the time when you're donating, you're like, okay, well we're donating and we'll do the walk and whatever, but when you're actually doing the challenge, it's wow.
Yeah.
All that money that's going somewhere, it's just such a feel-good feeling.
Yeah, and all the people that have like backed you. So like, you've got to get it done.
Got to get it done now, otherwise I'd look like a dickhead. So yeah, that was my weekend.
That's so good though, well done.
And now I feel a little bit delirious still because I am exhausted because it's just Monday. Yeah. So I'm really tired. But who cares? That'll just make an extra fun pod. Hopefully.
Well done.
Thanks, babes.
So on to the questions. Jess is in charge. Okay, so we've had some good ones.
It makes it sound like we've had some shit ones. We'll only read out the good ones.
No, we're all good. Well done, everyone.
We're all good in their own way.
A couple of like different themes, I guess. So we'll go straight in with work which we haven't spoken about in any pods yet.
No, because you never know who's listening. Go on.
Sorry, employers. So what happened with work and is your employer supportive?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can. So I'm a civil servant. Exciting. So I work on government policy, which I actually do find exciting.
Oh, your job's so cool. Jess's job, she gets to go to Brazil. Can I go into it all? It's like she was working with the G20. Yeah. It's in science and technology about how she was meant to go to Brazil and...
That was the sad bit.
That was the sad bit.
Well, I did actually go to Brazil a lot last year, but the G20's in South Africa this year, so I haven't been able to go.
But part of the science and technology thing is all about the environment or something.
Yeah, it depends what the host country wants to focus on. But Brazil was looking at climate science. So there was a really cool project with the UK and Brazil in the Amazon rainforest. It's mad the actual amount of projects that taxpayers fund. I don't really know about it. But
I did not know that was a taxpayer funded project.
Yeah, it's a load of rings in the Amazon rainforest that pump carbon dioxide into the canopy to figure out how the atmosphere is going to impact nature with like increased
how more
carbon
carbon
dioxide
dioxide increases
with global warming, etc.
Yeah, my words. Okay, how the increased carbon dioxide impacts the canopy.
Yeah. So yeah, fun things like that.
That's crazy. And then Jess was meant to, but
that.
couldn't go up to the top of the canopy.
Yeah, and have a look over the forest.
What an amazing thing
that I could have done.
What an amazing thing that she
that
could
I missed out on. Thank you, cancer.
I think the cancer diagnosis wasn't enough, and so these are the other impacts that come with that.
Yeah.
Work. People are like, oh, you don't have to go to work. It is like, that is a bonus because it allows you to like process everything, blah blah blah,
and rest.
Rest.
A lot of people find their jobs quite stressful, don't they? Like
they do. I lower those cortisol levels.
In the position where I'd actually just got into a job that I really loved, and I'd been like working. I'm quite ambitious, like in my career, and I'd managed to get to a position with a job that I really liked, good amount of travel, like perfect, interesting stuff. And then the diagnosis hit. But saying that, my team has been so supportive and so good.
Yeah, like, they have.
They're really letting me work around my appointments, and I'm going back. I'm in work again now. So they let me kind of take the time for appointments, and even if I'm just feeling tired with chemo, they're like, take the time that you need, don't stress. Which is exactly what you want your employer to do, really, because that could be a big...
But it's a double-edged sword because they have lowered their expectations of what Jess should be completing in a working day, obviously, so that's great, because it means if you're feeling sick, feeling tired, you can close your laptop and they're super understanding, but you can open up, reply to emails, but it also means that you're not put forward to go to the South Africa trip, and you're not put forward to take that promotion and all of that stuff. So I feel like there is a really annoying
balance.
Yeah.
Consequence
really of not being at work.
Yeah, just having to tell myself that now is not the time to focus on my career, which is a bit of a bitter pill because it, like I say, I've just got into a job I really enjoyed. I was excited to do it and progress more and have those challenges, but then it's the stress, and it's you have to take the time out and recover and let other people take those
roles. I think the other thing is that we are kind of indoctrinated through education from the get-go that you'll have a career, that that'll be really important to you, and you will work for the man, and this is what work looks like, and it's a thing of pride, and all of those things are true and a good thing, but I think we put so much emphasis on it that if you don't have a job, you're like, I'm on sick pay. No, I'm on half pay and at the minute from work, but I'm off on sick, and you feel like, oh, I didn't really want to be off on sick, and those people at work that say, I've never had a sick day in my life. I've never had a sick day. And I used to be quite bad for this as well. I don't know if it's just teaching thing or if it's everyone thing. Oh, well, that person had loads of sick days. I've only had one. She's had 0. Can you believe it? And now I'm like, well, actually, how lucky that you weren't ill.
Yeah.
Because I would much rather be at work and not have this.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's really annoying. I would much, there is nothing in me that would not rather that.
Yeah.
I want to be at work. It means I don't have cancer.
Yeah.
But you have to refigure out your brain and be like, do you know what an amazing opportunity to not be at work, spend more time with friends and family, reevaluate. Work isn't the be all and end all. Do I want to work for the man? Can we do a podcast and do our own work for us and do something now I feel really passionate about?
It's like a creative avenue that we wouldn't have ever explored.
I nearly ate the microphone then.
But there is an interesting thing about the connection to your identity, because there is I think technically, because we're stage 4 terminal, sad, that we could probably medically retire from work.
Have you looked into that?
Not fully, but it is a decision that I think
we could
is hovering around. We could do it, I suppose, if we wanted to, full time. Not, I don't know if there's a payout or what, but then the thought of not working, because that's usually one of the first questions when you meet a new person. It's like, oh, what do you do for work?
Yeah.
And then if you say, oh, I don't work, it's very different to like, oh, I'm a civil servant, I've got this job and this is what I do.
Yeah.
And it kind of marks you out as like an accomplished, intelligent person.
Successful, yeah. I had,
not that you're not if you're not working, but
it is, yeah.
There is that, just
that was a good save.
The question of like how it feels. And I do wonder, I was having this conversation about like full-time parents. Do they have that, having left their career, because they're still working, but society
doesn't acknowledge
appreciate
it
that as like a full-time job, but it's probably longer than a full-time job, more exhausting than a full-time
I honestly
job.
couldn't imagine doing it because there's no break.
Yeah.
But
do full-time parents have that kind of question of like,
I think so, of where they're like underappreciated, and I think that is why in divorce women at least were, I don't know how it works anymore, so protected, because they might have given up their job to have the kids, to bring them up, and then they've missed those. It's like being on sick, but you then miss those chances of progression because you've been doing something else.
Yeah, of not being in the workforce.
I was at the gym the other day and it was like 9:30 and I'm in a new gym class called cardio tennis and we love it. And I was talking to someone, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And then they said, what do I do? And I said, oh, I'm a teacher. But obviously it's 9:30 on a Monday. And they were like, should you not be at work?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm on sick. And then it was awkward. And I was like, oh no, I've had a bit of a crappy diagnosis. And then it was a bit awkward. And I was like, never mind. It wasn't the right time. This is why I put it on social media in the first place. Because when you bump into someone on the road and they say, how are you? If you say, yeah, I'm good, blah, 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 you're lying. And then if they hear about it later, they think that you couldn't tell them. But you also, it's not the time outside Tesco.
Yeah, you don't want to have to announce it to everyone.
And nobody wants it. That when they say, how are you, they mean, quick, so nice to see you, I'm off. And
by the way,
let's go sit and have a coffee. Nobody's got that time at that moment. And I appreciate that. So the reason I put it on social media was to not have those conversations. And then you get into a new thing and it's work that always brings it up for me when they say, like, what do you do? And you're like, I'm a teacher, except I've not taught for the whole year, so I don't even feel like a teacher.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a liar. I'm on sick. Am I a teacher? I'm on sick leave. I've not been in school, except for meetings this year.
Yeah.
So it's just weird.
But your work has been supportive of you as
well. Yeah. My work have been so lovely. They were really considerate in back end of June, July, for the last few weeks when I got my diagnosis. They were super nice. Then it's the summer holidays, so nothing needs to happen. And then in September, I went off on full pay. And as a teacher, I get 6 months full pay and 6 months half pay because I've worked in teaching for over 4 years. It's just over 4 years blanket after that.
That's good.
That's good. And so 6 months full, I'm on my 6 months half. That runs out in September. And I don't know what to do in September. Like, do I go back part-time? But I'm going through surrogacy. So then if I ever took maternity/adoptive parent leave, I'd be on a lot lower of that because I was part-time. So then do I want to keep my full-time hours? But I don't know if I feel I can go back full-time because I'm really worried I won't be able to fit in my new exercise regime and I don't want to take on any stress. And the most important thing now is seeing my friends and family and I don't want to sacrifice any of that.
Yeah.
So, and I see about 3 different people every day. I do make the most of it. So then there's just a lot up in the air for work for me, but they are so considerate and so lovely, and they're just like, every time, it's really easy to get a sick note now. Your sick notes last 3 months and you just write to your GP and say, can I have another sick note? And it says a reason. And at first I was like, stage 4 breast cancer, I'm just finding the appointments a lot. I was having appointments all the time and I just don't think I'm ready. And now I just write stage 4 breast cancer. My sick note just comes.
Yeah, that's good.
I think they get it. And I'm still in the first year of it. I think I feel I need to like warrant why I'm off sick, but everyone's like, it's okay, we get it. Just take time to process and figure it out.
Yeah, which is, it's been good, but I think we're glad that our work has been so supportive, but it's still there's so much to navigate, isn't there? Like the pay scales.
The pay scales,
how
the
much
sick
do you want
pay.
to go back, and when do you want to go back?
And I might go on statutory sick if I don't go back, and then that's hardly any money. And do you know what else is crazy? That some people, I think the teaching sick pay is quite good, 6 months full, 6 months off, but some people get hardly anything.
Yeah, mine was meant to be 4 months full pay.
Yeah.
And then there was flexibility within the policy to be able to
extend it.
Extend
And
it.
they've been really kind.
Yeah.
So that's been really helpful. Yeah.
So there you go. We haven't fully decided on our work stuff.
Situation.
but-
This is our new work. You are watching us in our job right now.
Yeah,
We're just waiting for the people to come and
Pay us for it.
even though we do it for free, it's like, well, who wants to just financially back us, guys? I don't know. We'll advertise for you. I'm having a dirty hot chocolate now. I love it. Okay? Dirty, get in touch.
Other, I suppose, group of questions is around family. Or do we want to do like a fun middle? Not that family's not fun, but
A fun middle one.
like, yeah, a little light-hearted.
Yeah, we could do.
Okay, what's the most delicious dish you've discovered since very on brand for our episode on food? Now that we've got a bazillion dietary requirements, what actually can we eat, and what's your favourite thing to eat now?
So I'm interested in this from you because I know mine, it's right in my head straight away, but you have always had quite an eclectic diet and loved loads of stuff, and your diet wasn't miles away from our new diet.
No, but I don't know what my new favourite. I've made a lot of Thai red curry because actually that curry paste that they use in all of the Thai places in the different coloured boxes, you'd recognise it.
Wow. Are we talking about the supermarkets? Thai red curries?
And Thai restaurants.
Okay.
They all use like this standard paste, but it's not processed by the looks of it. All the ingredients are like recognisable.
Okay, yeah.
So just a bit of that, and then add in your veg, a few prawns.
Yeah.
But the other day, the thing is, I used to cook a lot of Asian food, which I can't do for you because it's all soy and
phytoestrogens in soy and tofu.
Tofu, yeah. But I did make a really good miso cod.
Ooh.
Little cod fillet with some miso and some soy and some sesame seeds, and then just put it on a tray bake with a load of veg, and it was really good.
God, you're so good.
Yeah, but again, with the chemo, you just not always. When you're feeling nauseous, you don't want to go and eat fish a lot of the time, do you?
Yeah, and when you're feeling nauseous, you don't want to eat something that you love in case it really puts you off.
Yeah.
Because you've suffered from that already.
And the last thing you want to do is cook a whole meal from scratch. So this will bring us on to what friends and family can do.
That's true.
But a great thing that I found is someone started cooking for me.
Who?
Dropping around just a pal, dropping around some little...
You're not going to name drop them, but this is their big moment. What?
No, they're not getting a name drop.
That's so tight. They're so kind. But we'll move swiftly on. I'm going to tell you about my favourite food.
Pause.
My favourite food is... Sam, I'm giving you a shout out because I'm a good pal. Sam is a really good chef, and we went to Sea Houses and everyone was having takeout pizzas, but we were meant to go to a restaurant, so I thought I could eat there. The restaurant was full. Everyone was like, we'll just order takeout pizza, and I was a bit like, I'm not having dough, I don't know what to do. Sam's a really good cook. He was like, look, me and you will just go to Co-op, we'll find some food and I'll cook you something.
Oh,
Sam! So we went to Co-op, he found food, and then we went back, and then they're all having the takeout pizzas. They're just waiting, doing nothing. The food's being cooked for you. Sam went into the kitchen. I did stand there with him as support, but I didn't really do anything. And he cooked this vegetable dish with a peanut butter sauce.
Ooh.
It's like tahini, peanut butter. I don't know what's in it, but it's so good. And it's just roasted veg. And I can roast veg now, so I'm improving my skill set. But I don't know how to make this sauce or what's fully in it. Now Mark makes it. Every time we make it, Mark makes it or Sam makes it, it's different. And it is so tasty.
Ooh, you have to send me the recipe.
There is no recipe, Jess.
It's just
Sam Jess needs the recipe.
Sam, will you tell me how to make it, please?
I'm really going to find out from this episode if Sam watches this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he says he does. This is the test. So
Big
I'm very
shout out to Sam.
big
and his
shout out.
peanut recipe.
And he came over shortly after I was beginning the diet, and he was like, "Right, we're going to make let me show you how we can make things." I don't remember anything that we did, but he came round and he made me different sauces that I could put on my eggs because I was having a lot of eggs. If we remember that time when my diet,
Yeah.
when I began this, my diet was eggs and avocado, and that was it. So he just made different sauces to kind of change it up. And then he helped me try and make cookies as well with almond flour, which didn't really work, but we tried, and that was key. So
Nice.
yeah, and now Mark makes a lot of curries, prawn curries, and we have a special one, which is a green Thai curry, which is my
Oh,
favourite.
yeah.
You've had that
And he
one.
put the pistachio
He
in
puts
it.
pistachios in it, all crunched up
That
for
is
texture.
nice.
And we have cauliflower rice, but don't buy cauliflower from a packet because it smells and tastes funky.
Yeah.
But he just gets a cauliflower and like shreds it or trims it down, so you've got the tiny little floret bits. And that's cauliflower rice, and you need that for a curry. You need something for the sauce.
Yeah.
Which is why, really going off on one here, it's really difficult to go to like restaurants like Indians or Chinese or Thai where you want a bread or a rice
Oh,
to
an
soak it
naan
up.
bread.
Yeah. Because
I used to love
even
a naan bread.
some places do veg, but it doesn't soak. Like I had a Thai last night, but I had broccoli with it. So it's not like, that's not soaking anything up. Now it's just a
Yeah.
plate of sauce. Whereas the cauliflower rice does help you soak it up.
Yeah.
So you need the cauliflower rice.
Yeah, and sometimes if you put a bit of turmeric in the cauliflower rice, if you're having a curry, complements it.
Stop
Tastes
that.
great.
Stop that. Look at those. We should open a cafe
Yeah, I think we
with the
should.
new things, except I really can't run a cafe. I could be in it. I could be the face. I could talk to you.
Yeah.
I just can't do the food side of stuff. I could make a coffee
We could employ someone
to make the
to
food.
do. We could design the menu.
We'll design the menu with Sam
Yeah, and Mark.
and Mark. and then they'll design the menu, and then we'll employ someone who will cook it, and then we'll just be there. But not every day, because work-life balance.
Yeah, and this is ironic following the work question where we say that
we can't
took
work.
some time off work.
We can't work. We're
But we're
sick.
willing to open a cafe.
Yeah, there you go. And it's funny because we're meant to be at work right now. Don't you find that weird? It's Monday afternoon.
Don't say that.
But
That's
yeah.
another bit to cut off the pod.
Okay, carry on. Next question.
This is the weekend.
Next question.
So family question. So we had a few on this actually. So we've had, how are your family coming along for the ride? How has it affected relationships with your family? And what can like family and friends do to support you? So lots in there to go off.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
do you know what? I wanted to say something about work before we move on from work.
Go on.
Even though we moved on from work because we talked about food, I wanted to talk about pensions
Oh yeah.
because
This is another thing that's on the admin list that I haven't even thought about.
no, I know it's on
addressing.
my admin list too. Because, and I don't mean this in a neggy Nancy way, but is there any point in us paying
Paying into a
towards our pension when we might never see it according to the NHS?
Yeah.
But not only is there any point in us paying into it, so why do I need to change it so that I'm not paying into it? But you can also get early release. Do you bother getting early release when you could use the money now and you're not sure you could use it later? Or do you not bother getting early release because we're the medical marvels that'll need it later?
Exactly. This is the whole problem of not having a prognosis.
Yeah.
But to be fair,
Prognosis is a bullshit anyway.
yeah, but they're still not telling us that we'll live to what even is a pension age? 60 something?
They would be really surprised if I reach that. I'm not going to be surprised because obviously I
We
will.
are going to do it.
We're going to do it, but according to their stats,
Yeah.
they're not feeling good about it.
So yeah, I've been paying into the pension as well, and it's like, and it's a good pension as well.
Yeah, so is
isn't
the
it?
teacher one.
So
And I reckon I pay like £400 a month of my wage in. So I'm like, I could really be doing with that money. Not that I'm even earning now, I'm on 6, so is it even a problem? But then I'm like, should I be trying to release it? Anyway, I just wanted to add that in because we're talking about work, and that feels like one of the things that when you get your diagnosis, you don't think that's not something that you think you'll think about.
Yeah.
But actually, that's something we really have to think about.
Yeah.
We don't have to. We could just we could just not, but it feels like we should think about that.
Yeah, and like going bigger than that is financial planning. You're just told your whole life to like save for the future, put money in like longer term investments or whatever, but then you're like, well, do you gamble and just withdraw everything, stop investing, spend all your money now?
So this,
do you put some aside?
Can we talk about Norfolk?
Yeah.
So this is a key question for Jess at the minute.
Yeah, because I've got the house, I've got the family house. Sound like I'm from
the family. I have the family manor. She has her mum and dad's house.
Yeah.
With Beth, her sister. They both own the house now.
Yeah, so both my parents have passed away, so we have the house and we thought we'll just rent it out so that, you know, the property value's increasing and you're getting money year on year from having a tenant in there. But now we've made the decision to sell the house because it's like, again, that long-term financial planning thing. Is it better to have an investment or is it better to just sell the house and do what you want? So,
and I think this is also sad because I think you reach a point, and it's the same with the pension thing. You reach a point where people want to say to you, no, you'll be the medical marvel. So it's fine. Like, you should get the money. Like, not even talking about money, actually. You'll be the medical marvel. Keep doing what you're doing. It's going to be fine. But you do have to seriously consider, but I might not be. So actually is the smart thing to sell the house or to release the pension. Because even though we're all living in the world of possibilities, which we love, there is that, you know, when everyone goes away and you've assured them you're living in that world of possibilities, you actually do have to think seriously about, well, actually, do I want this money now? And is there any point in me keeping it in the bank or in a house for later?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you do, regardless of how positive and hopeful we can be, you still have to address some of the bigger, serious questions.
And you can't just brush it and be blasé. Like, actually, the serious question is, if this bad thing happens, would I rather have the money now? And maybe is taking the money the best option? It's just weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're still being, we're going to live forever. But there is the undercurrent of, but if not, should I just get the money now?
Yeah, and just
ready for the fuck it button stage.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, I might buy a camper van, guys.
And go around New Zealand?
Well, I can't go that far.
No,
from
you
the
can't.
NHS, can I? Maybe Scotland will have to do.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I love Scotland.
Down to Cornwall and Dorset.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice.
I did go for a phase of trying to learn to surf.
You said.
So that would have been cool.
Get back into
Getting
that.
a camper van and a surfboard on the top.
That'd be really, that will be the look.
Who am I?
Who even is she?
To go with my edgy haircut. And then I can, the good thing about not having any hair, dip in and out of the sea. It doesn't matter.
No shower needed.
Well, I mean.
No shower needed.
I'm going to be a crusty hippie.
Yeah. Yeah, you would suit that. You're already halfway there. Okay.
Anyway.
So that was the other things that we want to talk about financially.
Yes. But we've gone, family.
Family.
Yeah. So family wise, my sister, me and Beth, are very close, but she lives in Australia.
Living the high life.
Living a lovely life in Sydney. Great friends, boyfriend, job, all set up.
Good weather.
Everything's going well. And then there's me. Like, she had to come back and forth all the time because my mum was previously ill. And then a year later,
starts all over again.
I get the diagnosis. And that was one of the worst things actually about the diagnosis. I just, after the shock of it all, I thought, I'm going to have to ring Beth. And she's going to have to do the whole emergency dash back from Sydney again, like over and over. But we've managed to make it a balance now. I think it's hopefully less traumatic. Sorry, Beth.
It is a lot. It is hard. It must be hard. Sorry, Beth, to speak on your behalf, but it must be hard to be far away.
Yeah.
And to do that. But it's like, maybe through your mum, at least, maybe, Beth, you should message us, but maybe she's like, okay, well, I know what to do.
Yeah,
'Cause we've
and
done
I
it
think
for
that's
Mum.
the thing. We know when it's like an emergency dash, and when it's like, you know,
I'm just feeling a bit shit, Dash.
we've got like a bit more understanding and calibration of when is needed.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, and it's and
And
we're balancing it really well at the moment, I think.
difficult for her though, just being in Australia as well, because at one point she was coming over to the UK anyway to see you and to go to weddings and whatever. But then it turned into an emergency dash.
Yeah, because then I got that infection.
And then she had to spend another £1,000 on flights, which is just like, it's just things like this that you don't really consider, that like all the money and like there's the time. She was able to work from home a bit, wasn't she?
Yeah, which is great. Really got a good deal there.
Yeah.
And her work has been super supportive.
Which is really important for work, to be supportive of your loved ones as well, because it's not just you that goes through this.
Yeah, and that reminds me, one of my other friends from school, I hope she doesn't mind me saying, but
she'll never know who she is because she won't name anyone.
Okay, yeah, I won't name anyone. But she got thyroid cancer, and
she knows who she is.
So she knows who she is. Her husband, his work wouldn't let him go to some of her appointments. Which is like,
so I'm gonna
madness. Why would you do that?
I'm gonna put a shout out for all employers here. I know that other people can go to appointments, and not every appointment's like the most sad thing in the world, but it is so helpful to have one person, from my perspective, that's been to them all, because they've travelled the roller coaster with you. You've not misunderstood something. If someone said this last time, they'll help remind you that you want to know this time.
Yeah.
They'll be able to interpret. I have a different oncologist every time, so they'll be able. You learn about each one, and you learn to interpret them all differently. So if someone's at each one, it's really, really helping you with an undercurrent of so much stuff of like, oh, well, that's not very like that doctor to say, or what did you get from that conversation, and. So I know that other people can come, and obviously I've had it where Mark's not come to them all, but he's been to most of them, and it does feel like this safety of we both get them, right? We're both used to waiting an hour. We're both used to this way of it working, and it's just like okay, you know how it is, I know how it is. But if someone's not coming to them all, no one gets it like you get it then. So, but I like. So I think just for employers. I
don't know what like the rules are, but you would think that an employer would be understanding.
You would, but it does depend. I mean, the amount of appointments there are.
Yeah, that is true.
Especially at the beginning, I reckon I was in a few times a week. I mean, Mark was really lucky with his business. Everyone was really like understanding, but I can imagine that went on for ages and ages. And with IVF. That went on for like a couple months with the surgery and the lead up to surgery. I reckon for a couple of months there I was in 3 times a week. So it is a lot to ask. And at what point does the employer say, we kind of do need your work?
Yeah, that's true.
But you should just try and make it so that they can go.
Agreed.
And they can catch up the hours later if it comes to it, can't they?
You would hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a thing as well with me, because I've had different people come to pretty much all my stuff, but I'm in a bit more regularly as well because I'm having regular chemo, which you have to go into hospital for IV. So all my friends have been so good and so supportive. They'll book time off work and come with me, but then I feel guilty because it's like I don't want all my friends to be using all their annual leave to come and sit in a hospital with me, you know what I mean?
But we don't mind it that they do.
No, I mean, and they would never say... That's just my own.
It's just an added,
thought.
Instead of being able to relax in the chemo and feel tired in the chemo and feel a bit sick in the chemo, you feel a bit like they've taken a day off, so I need to be...
Well, not even that, because I think, luckily, I'm very chilled. Like, they're kind of like family anyway, so you can just sit and moan out with your family, can't you? But it is just like, this has been going on for so long, and it will be going on for so long. It's like asking, and that's quite difficult, I think, for me. Like before, I was a very independent person. And I'm not very good at asking for help, really.
Yeah.
And you're asking so much of your friends to, like,
this
especially if they've got their own lives, they've got kids, and they're having to get childcare to then come into an appointment with you, and they would never say that they would mind doing that, but you just feel bad to make them do that.
Yeah, you can't help be like, oh my gosh, bit of a burden over here.
Yeah,
bit of a problem child. I get it in a different way where you're like, I am the problem child. I didn't bring cancer on myself. I wish I didn't have it, whatever.
Yeah.
But without emotion tied to it, I am, or we are the problem children. We are the people like, sorry, we can't go away that weekend, or sorry, I can't see that day. Sorry, could someone come here? Sorry, I can't join in with that activity. Sorry, I can't go to that restaurant.
Yeah, or planning as well. I don't know if we said this before in the pod, but a big thing for me is like, I just don't know how I'm going to be feeling.
Yeah.
Or like, you're planning around your chemo appointments, and then when I knew that the chemo was going to hit me, it's like, well, I can't really plan much for the first week, but every single time you're making a plan with someone, you're like caveating, like, I can't plan too far in advance because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling. Like booking a holiday, for example, with a group of friends is like, I may be able to come, I may not. And now I'm always that person that's really flaky. And I was never that person before.
But then no one minds. I think flakiness, you don't want to be flaky, but people are flaky for different reasons. And when someone's flaky and you're like, this person just doesn't care because they've bailed again, or this person just prioritizes something other than me, so they've bailed again. But when you're flaky because you're nauseous and tired, everyone's like, we get it. There's no negative connotations.
But it's just hard, like, you want to make plans with people and you want to be like, yeah, let's go have dinner together on this date.
Yeah.
And then it's like the day before you're like wiped out and just feeling shit. And you're like, oh, sorry. Can we reschedule again? Because I'm not feeling great. But
I think you'll get better at it as well, because once you're really in tune with this chemo, I think you'll get better. And in my mind, I'm not sure if this is how it works, your body will become more accustomed to the chemo, so you'll be a bit more...
But then that's dangerous territory, because the cancer gets accustomed to it, and then...
No, I've decided not the cancer, just you.
Just me.
Just you. The cancer never gets accustomed to it.
Well, you know what, though? So this Aura ring, also, Aura, tag us and send us free stuff.
Come on, Aura.
I'm relying on the Aura ring.
Jess loves the Aura ring. Big shout out.
But it has been telling me that my stats are getting better and better, and I'm like, how? Like, my sleep is better, my, like, readiness. The other day it was like, call an architect. Your readiness is through the roof. And I was
what great chat, by the way, from Aura.
I know.
Shout out to whoever's writing that stuff in Aura.
But I was like, are you really? Like, my whole body is being zapped with chemo all the time. Are you really telling me that, like, I can go up and I'm not, like, peak fitness to go and run around?
Either Aura's wrong, or I do think your body gets used to a certain thing. And I'll bring this back to diet. You know how they're like, oh, we're not meant to have gluten or something or other, or I don't know what it is. But then people just keep having it and they become accustomed to it.
Oh, yeah.
Is it like that with chemo? So when my bloods last month, my white blood cell count has gone from hovering around 1 to 2.44.
Really?
Did I not tell you? Stop it. So
that's big news.
Really big news. Bloods being under 1 means you can't progress with your treatment. And they were like 1 on the nose 1 month, 1.1 the next month, and that was after they'd been under 1 for like 3-4 months. So my treatment was really delayed. Anywho, and out of the blue, it's gone from 1.17 to 2.44. And part of me, Mark's like, they've got the wrong bloods, so we'll find out next month. But part of me is like, what happens if actually what's happened here is my body's just come accustomed to the drugs, hopefully not the cancer, but the body's become accustomed to the drugs, and we're able to run alongside each other now much more nicely.
Well, I hope that's the case.
Me too.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Otherwise, your family have been so nice, even to me as well.
God,
shout out to Becky's family.
Oh yay.
But they've been really great on research, haven't they?
They have. My brother and dad, big researchers.
Yeah.
Mum and Nanny have been taking us out for coffee. took us out for lunch.
That was lovely.
That's lovely. They just want to sit and have a chat, and we love that. And Dad and John will do the research. So for breast cancer and for bowel cancer. John especially done a lot of research on bowel cancer, and that's a huge one of what friends and family could do for you, which is one of the questions.
Yeah.
Because it's, especially at the start, but even now, I would not look at anything online. I didn't Google. The only thing I Googled was like the breast cancer website.
Yeah.
And it was more for like the facts of what was happening. I wanted to understand it. But I didn't look anywhere else, and I didn't get stats and didn't get horror stories. And then if I wanted to find something out, I would ask a friend to research it and ask them to only tell me the tiny bit of information I needed. Or I just wouldn't Google anything. But when it comes to clinical trials, people will send me them. So I'm like, I mean, a lot of the time they're no use for me anyway, and they're not even like in existence to be able to be used. But it's nice that someone else has done it. Yeah,
and that's a big thing. When in like one of the previous pods I said about having to make the decision about chemo, one of my friends, Laura, who I will name.
Well done, Laura. What have you done, Laura, that the others haven't?
She has a science background, and she really helped because I was like, I've got to make these decisions about these two different types of chemo. And she was going through and looking at like the clinical trial and the studies, and it's not even just like digesting that information and the science language around it, which is like a whole thing, but it's also like looking at who ran the trials and who's like, what's the actual background to that paper, and is it reliable, and can we trust it over another one, and things like that. That is just her expertise. And that was so helpful at the time, because she then just said, right, don't worry about it, I'll have a look, and then came back to me and was like, they're saying this about this chemo, they're saying this about this chemo, so actually it's not too bad if you go for either. And that was such a weight off my mind.
Yeah, because how are you meant to make those decisions?
Yeah, so that's like a big thing that friends and family can do if they've got like certain areas of expertise or whatever that might be useful. I think taking a bit of the admin load and a bit of the mental stress of research or reading about certain things, that's been a real help.
Miranda has done a lot of that for both of us as well. So she helped us look for people that are good in our specific fields, and saying, you know, if you go for a private appointment, these are the people to look for Jess, these are the people to look for me.
Second opinions,
yeah. So she did a lot of the reading for me. We found a book. Do you know what? This is becoming long, so I'm going to save this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about you next week, Miranda. But she found the book and she helped read it and digest it.
Yeah,
we've got another time.
Yeah, loads of extra stuff and loads of.
I feel like we talked about 3 questions. Oh, yeah. And the final question that I know everybody was so eager to hear the answer was Steph's question. What's it like running with one boob, one foob? Also, by the way, the people that I did the walk with did not know that boobs and foobs meant boobs and fake boobs. So, just to be clear, that's what that meant, because people signed up to do a marathon with me and didn't know. They just said, yeah, sure.
What's a foob?
What's a foob? Foob is fake boob, and I always wear a sports bra when I do exercise, so they feel the same. But when I'm walking about without a bra, I'm like, wow, having a fake boob is great. It doesn't move, it just sits there, like great shape. And the other one, like, bounces a bit, and you're like, oh, you don't feel as free, braless. And it just sits a little bit and, like, touches the skin underneath. Because I lost weight as well, so I haven't lost that much weight, but it's just, like, not super perky, and this guy's so perky now.
Oh. So you feel a bit lopsided?
I feel a bit. See, I have to walk around, like, if I'm not wearing a bra, like this, so that this guy isn't just
even
moving on his own course, because it looks really obvious because I'm walking and then there's one boob walking in a different, like, just moving at a different pace. So that's a bit annoying, but whatever.
There you go. That's the spoiler that everyone wanted.
That is honestly, the fans have not stopped asking. I can't believe it. All over the internet, people have been wondering.
And now we know.
And now you know.
What it's like to have a foob. And a
You're
boob.
so welcome. I was going to say something else, but it's gone. Oh, I was going to say something about what friends can do to help you, but should we leave that for next time?
Yeah, let's continue that because there's
Too much to say.
loads more tips that we can give you.
Yeah. And one of them is just give us loads of money and send us on loads of holidays.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, guys. Bye!